Welcome to freecontractadvice.com. So, you'd like to know where you can get your hands on a free contract for your business, which is a most admirable thing to want, because obviously that means you've decided that having some terms and conditions or a contract in your business is important, and you're perfectly right. Obviously, a free contract is not going to be as good for your business as one that has been handcrafted by a knowledgeable and expert professional. But in the early stages, when cash is at a premium and frankly you've got better things to spend your money on than legal agreements, having some sort of contract is better than having nothing at all, provided that it reflects the way that you do business. Because if it doesn't reflect the way that you sell and deliver your products and services, then it could actually get you into more problems than it will solve. But all is not lost. There are ways that you can get yourself some T's and C's that are going to do a reasonable job to get you started until you're into those high value deals where it really is worth investing money in some professional support. So where do people find free contracts? Well, a lot of companies that I talk to, and generally I speak to them when they're looking to upgrade to their first sort of pro contract, they've been making do quite merrily with an agreement that they borrowed, shall we say, from their previous employer. If they've gone into business for themselves doing something that their last company did, then it might be that their previous employer's terms are ones they're familiar with, that they understand, and that they think will do a pretty good job for their new business. The other source of free contracts is the internet. Now, some of these can be from contract template sites. A lot of those you'll have to pay a small amount of money. Companies like simplydocs.co.uk, where they're maybe 20, 30, 40 pounds for a template agreement. Companies will also go out and have a look for businesses that do something similar to them and download their T's and C's from the website and change the names to protect the innocent. So they're all places where you can get starter agreements for free. Now, if all you do to your previous employers or some other poor company on the internet's terms and conditions before you start using them in your business is to change the name and the address and hopefully remember to change the registered company number too, then I could understand it if that company would be somewhat aggrieved with you, because like it or not, copying someone else's terms and conditions is a breach of their copyright. They will have invested time and money in creating a set of terms and conditions that work well for their business, and you will effectively have stolen that. And breach of copyright is a serious matter that companies do take very seriously. So I'm not advocating that you steal terms and conditions from another organisation and just slap them on your website or hand them out to your customers. But you can use them for inspiration if they're for another company that does something similar to you, provided you make sure that they apply to the way that you manage your particular business. So to do that, take your inspiration document or your template and have a look at the headings, and for each of those headings, consider it from the perspective of your business and see if it reflects the way that you work. The first perspective we need to think of is who does what when. So that's the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts stuff in your business. When are you going to deliver? When does your customer have to order? Are there any minimum lead times? Does your customer have to contribute something, some content for a website design, for example, or some specifications? Get all of that nuts and bolts stuff nice and clear in your new terms and conditions. Even if you're not using heavy legal language, just write it the way you think it ought to work. The second thing to check when you're looking through your template agreement is, when do we get paid? So have a look at the template you're working from and see if it matches your expectations in terms of when you're going to issue your invoices, when you expect your customer to pay you, and whether or not there are any inspection or acceptance testing provisions that determine their right to assess the goods or services that you've delivered before they pay your invoice. And finally, the third issue is what happens if things go wrong. Now, nobody likes thinking of those up front, but take a look at the template you're working from and see if the sorts of problems and issues that are anticipated by that are the same as the ones that apply to your product or service. So we've covered three areas here, and they're neatly encapsulated in a model that we use called the 3 triangles. Who does what when do we get paid, and what happens if things go wrong? So go through that template agreement that you're working from and tweak it to fit your business so that it describes how you work, when you expect to get paid, and how you're going to deal with any problems. If you need a bit more help on that, I can recommend a free app that I developed last year called The Butler's Tale from Devant. You can find a link to it on the website and download it. It works on any iPhone or iPad or Apple device. You can actually use it as well online on our website, on the Devant website. If you want to go and have a look there, there'll be a link to that on the Free Contract Advice site. And that will take you through each of those 3 triangles and how they work, and which contract terms you can expect to find in each triangle, and what those terms mean for you in normal business English. So off you go, have a look, see what you can do. You might also want to take a look at any terms offered by your professional association. If you're a chartered marketer or accountant or something, you may well find that any professional body that you belong to will have terms and conditions that are tailored for people doing what it is that you do. The same rules apply though. Go through your 3 triangles and make sure that the template document that you're working for reflects the way that you do business in your company. So have fun with that, and I hope you're able to put together a set of terms and conditions that will work for your business and get you through those early stages while you're generating revenue. And then once the values of your contracts and the amount of risk in those contracts are big enough to justify it, then you can take a look at getting something done for you by the professionals.